Sometimes the strongest people are the ones who cry in silence, the ones who wipe their own tears when no one is watching, the ones who break inside but still smile for the world. And maybe, just maybe, you are one of those people. And if you are, then you are not alone. Because the one who created your heart is the one who sees it ache the most when no one else even notices. And if you believe that Allah has seen your pain and never abandoned you, then say Alhamdulillah in the comments right now. Because this message, this moment, this reminder, it's for you. Not by accident, not by coincidence, but by the qudrur of Allah. Because you needed it, and your soul needed to hear it. Allah knew you cried alone. He knew you were breaking while pretending to be okay. He knew your nights were heavy and your smiles were forced. He knew that sometimes you cried in sujud and sometimes you cried without even having the strength to raise your... And He still counted every tear, still listened to every word your heart said, even when your lips couldn't. Because that's who Allah is, the one who knows the unseen, the one who hears the silent, the one who responds to the broken. And sometimes in the depths of pain we ask, where is Allah? But the truth is, He was always there, closer than your jugular vein, listening, comforting, writing your name among those who remember Him in private, those who love Him even when they're drowning, those who never gave up even when they were too tired to keep going. And if you've ever been in that place, crying alone, struggling quietly, breaking slowly, then know that those moments are not lost, they are not ignored, they are not useless. They are some of the most powerful spiritual moments of your life, because those are the moments that connect your heart directly to Allah. Those are the moments that angels record with honor. And those are the moments that can raise your rank in Jannah more than any public act of worship, more than any loud speech, more than any applause from people, because those are moments of truth, sincerity, and pure iman. The kind that only exists when everything else has been stripped away. You see, we live in a world that praises strength, that applauds success, that celebrates loudness. But in the sight of Allah, sometimes the most beloved people are the ones who are quietly patient, the ones who cry to Him without ever showing it to anyone else, the ones who keep their hearts soft even when life tries to harden them. And maybe your strength is not in pretending to be okay. Maybe your strength is in turning to Allah when no one else even realizes what you're going through. Maybe your power is in whispering, Ya Allah, help me, when your voice is shaking. Maybe your faith is in raising your eyes to the sky and knowing that even if no one else understands, He does. And if that's you, if you've had those moments, then you are among the special ones. Because Allah loves those who remember Him in pain, who thank Him in silence, who rely on Him in solitude. And the beautiful thing is, even when you feel like you're not doing enough, even when you feel spiritually empty, even when you feel distant, just the fact that you're turning to Him in that moment means He hasn't left you. Because the Prophet said, whoever remembers Allah, Allah remembers them, and you, yes, you are being remembered right now by the one who created the heavens and the earth, by the one who controls the winds and the seas, by the one who knows your past, your present, your future, your pain, your guilt, your efforts, your tears. And that in itself should give you strength. So don't let the silence fool you. Allah hears it all. And don't let the darkness convince you that you're alone, because He is the light. And don't let the delay in your dua being answered make you lose hope, because the delay is not a denial. It's a preparation, a purification, a protection. And maybe, just maybe, what you're crying about today is what will bring you closest to Him tomorrow. And maybe the heartbreak you begged Allah to remove was the very thing softening your heart, humbling your soul, and making you rely on Him in a way you never did before. And even if the pain didn't leave right away, your iman did grow, your patience did increase, your heart did become more sincere. And that growth, that change, that connection is priceless in the eyes of Allah. And He does not let a single tear go to waste. He does not let a single sigh go unheard. And when you remember Him in the dark, He remembers you in the light. And when you call upon Him while trembling, He sends you peace you can't explain. And even when you don't see it, even when you don't feel it right away, His mercy surrounds you, His love covers you, and His plan is unfolding perfectly, even if your heart hasn't caught up yet. So keep crying to Him, not out of despair, but out of love, out of trust, out of surrender. Because the Prophet cried in the night, in sujud, in pain, not because he lacked faith, but because he had deep faith. Because crying to Allah is not a weakness, it's a form of worship. It's an act of trust. It's a sign that your heart is still alive, still connected, still turning back to its Lord. And the Prophet once said that there are two eyes that will never be touched by the fire. The eye that stood guard in the path of Allah, and the eye that wept from the fear and love of Allah. And maybe your eyes, your tears, maybe they're writing your place in Jannah right now, and you don't even know it. So never be ashamed of crying to Allah. Never be embarrassed by your weakness, because your weakness in front of people may be a problem, but your weakness in front of Allah is your greatest strength. And when you turn to Him with nothing left to give, that's when He fills your heart with more than you ever asked for. And as we continue this journey together, I want you to remember, the same Allah who saw you cry last night is the same Allah who will bring light to your tomorrow. The same one who saw you break is the one who will rebuild you in a way that's stronger, softer, and more beautiful than before. And while you may be waiting for ease, waiting for healing, waiting for answers, know that just holding on is an act of ibadah. Just trusting Him is worship. And just surviving some nights is a victory in the eyes of your Lord. And even if no one ever says, I'm proud of you, know that your Creator sees your quiet efforts and loves you beyond what you can imagine. And maybe the reason you're still here, still breathing, still listening, is because Allah still has plans for you, still has goodness for you, still wants you to experience His mercy, His gifts, His guidance. And all you need to do is keep turning back to Him, even with broken words, even with tired eyes, even with a heavy heart, because He's not asking for perfection, He's asking for sincerity. And if your tears are sincere, that's enough. That's more than enough. And sometimes the most powerful moments in your entire life are not the ones anyone else sees, not the weddings, not the degrees, not the handshakes or the victories, but that one night when you were on the prayer mat, eyes swollen from crying, heart trembling, hands shaking, and you whispered in sajda, Ya Allah, I have nothing left but you. And no one else knew, no one else heard, no one else even realized what you were going through. But that moment, that broken sadda, that emptying of your soul, that surrender, it was recorded, written, cherished by the Lord of the worlds. And while the world measures you by your status and strength, Allah measures the weight of your broken heart when it turns back to Him, because sujud is not just an action, it's a language, it's a place where the heart speaks directly to the one who made it. And if you've ever cried in sujud, if you've ever buried your pain into the carpet and said nothing but Ya Allah, then know that you went alone on that mat. Allah was with you, His angels were witnessing, and your tears were purifying your heart in ways you don't even understand yet. Because pain that leads you to Allah is not a punishment, it's a gift. And even if it doesn't feel like a gift right now, one day, maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, you'll look back and say, that moment, that crying, that night, it changed everything. It woke me up. It brought me closer. It made me real. And there's something beautiful about those who cry in secret, something sacred, something honored. Because when the Prophet told us about the 7 types of people who will be shaded on the day of judgment, one of them was a person who remembers Allah in solitude and their eyes fill with tears. And ask yourself, how many times has your heart broken in the silence of night? How many times did you sit alone in your room, not knowing what to say, but your heart was screaming? How many times did you stay awake while the world slept, wondering how to keep going? And yet, you still woke up, you still prayed, you still walked forward with a smile no one knew was hiding pain. And all of that is known by Allah. All of that is remembered. All of that is counted. And while others may never understand, your Lord already understood before the first tear even fell. And that, my dear brother and sister, should comfort you more than anything in this world. Because people may miss the signs, but Allah sees even the ones you try to hide. And I want you to really hear this. Not just with your ears, but with your soul. That if you've cried from pain, if you've cried from longing, if you've cried because you missed someone, lost someone, felt abandoned or misunderstood, Allah knows. And not only does He know, He is the one who placed rahmat in your heart. He is the one who shaped your emotions, who gave you that softness, and He is not ashamed of your sadness. He honors it, He listens to it, and He responds to it. Where is the Father? He asks you. You know His name. He is the one who came to you in His sadness. He honors it, He listens to it, and He desires it. He honors it, He listens to it. And even if you think your dawah wasn't answered, even if things didn't change the way you hoped, don't for a second think your cries were wasted. Because no sincere tear ever touches the ground except that it is raised by the angels, recorded with your name, tied to your file on the day of judgment, and brought before Allah as proof. This servant felt pain. This servant called out to you. This servant broke but didn't let go of you. And maybe the entire reason for your hardship wasn't to break you, but to bring you back, to soften what the world hardened, to clean what sins had stained, to remove what pride had covered, and to plant a sincerity in your heart that could only grow through that tearful night. And isn't it amazing that your lowest point could be your highest rank? That your most private pain could be your biggest blessing? That the moment you were ashamed of, the moment you thought meant weakness, might be the very reason Allah raises you, protects you, honors you in both worlds? Because Allah is not like people. People ask, what have you achieved? But Allah asks, how much have you tried? People ask, where are you now? But Allah asks, where did you turn when it got dark? People forget, dismiss, ignore. But Allah never does. And if your soul has ever shaken from heartbreak, if your chest has ever felt too tight to breathe, if you've ever closed your door and collapsed from exhaustion, then don't think you're far from Allah. Maybe in that very moment, you were the closest you've ever been, because the most sincere du'as are made not with perfect words, but with desperate hearts. And the greatest sujud is not the one done with perfect focus, but the one done with a trembling soul that can't even form full sentences but still says, Ya Allah, you know what's inside me, and Allah does know. And that's enough. And as you move through your days, carrying silent pain that no one understands, just remember, Allah is not only aware, He is Al-Latif, the most subtle, the one who is gentle in His help, hidden in His mercy, precise in His timing. And when you're crying alone, not only is He near, He is preparing something for you that you don't see yet. Maybe healing you before giving you what you ask for. Maybe purifying you before raising you to the level you're meant to reach. Maybe giving you Jannah-sized reward for a world-sized pain. And all you have to do is keep holding on, even if it's just barely, even if your faith is a whisper, even if your dua is messy, even if you feel too broken to even ask properly. Keep asking, keep trying, because that cry is an act of worship, that pain is a path to Allah, and that solitude is not empty when you fill it with remembrance. And know this, you're not the only one who's cried this way. The prophets cried this way. The righteous cried this way. The companions of the Prophet cried this way. Because pain is not a sign of weakness, it's a sign of humanity. And when you cry in front of Allah, it doesn't make you less, it makes you more. More humble, more sincere, more aware of your need for Him. And when you need Him most, He comes closer. And when you come to Him walking, He comes to you running. And when you call Him, He says, I am near. And when you whisper to Him in the dark, He responds in ways that light up your future. So don't be ashamed of your tears. They are not a burden. They are not a flaw. They are not a failure. They are a gift. They are purification. They are strength in disguise. And when you cry alone, you are not unseen. You are loved. You are hurt. And you are never, ever alone. And now as we come to the final part of this heartfelt reminder, I want you to breathe. Just breathe. And realize that the pain you've been carrying, the tears you've been hiding, the long nights that no one saw, none of it has been forgotten. None of it has been ignored. Because Allah is Ash-Shakara, the one who is most appreciative, the one who takes even your smallest act of patience, even your quietest effort to stay strong, and multiplies it beyond your imagination. So even if you think no one knows how much it hurt, how hard you tried, how many times you cried, know that Allah knows. And that's all that ever mattered. And maybe you've spent so long hiding your pain that you've convinced yourself that healing isn't possible, that peace is for others, that relief is too far away. But Allah is Al-Jabbar, the one who mends what is shattered. And if He can split the sea for Musa, cool the fire for Ibrahim, bring water from rock for Bani Israel, that you can split the sea for Musa, cool the fire for Ibrahim, bring water from rock for Bani Israel, that you can split the sea for Musa, cool the fire for Ibrahim, bring water from rock for Bani Israel, that you can split the sea for Musa, cool the fire for Ibrahim, bring water from rock for Bani Israel. And maybe one day you will come back and you will raise the dead with His word. Do you not think He can fix what's hurting inside you? He can, and He will, in His time, in His way, with His wisdom. And all He asks is that you don't give up, that you don't walk away, that you keep calling Him even when your voice shakes. Because what you whisper in sujud travels faster than any cry on earth. It rises to the heavens and it is answered by the King of Kings. Not always the way you expect, but always the way you need. And maybe the delay was because He wanted to increase your reward or soften your heart or protect you from something you didn't see. Because what you're crying about might have been a distraction, a danger or simply not good for your akira? And if you knew what He knows, you would trust Him more and worry less. So now I ask you, what do you think your tears were doing all this time? Do you think they just evaporated into the air? No, they rose to the one who created you. And He kept track of everyone. He counted them. He knew the reason behind each one. And in His book, your broken moments are written not as weakness but as worship. And your silence is not seen as emptiness but as a sign that you're waiting for Him. And that, my dear soul, is the definition of tawakkul, of surrender, of faith. And even if your life right now doesn't look how you hope, even if the story you planned is not the story you are living, maybe this chapter was always meant to come first. Maybe the healing had to start here, in the dark, in the silence, in the moment you thought you were alone, but really you were surrounded by angels and covered by the mercy of the one who loves you more than your own mother. And if that doesn't bring peace to your heart, then say this with me now, softly, sincerely, from wherever you are. Say, Hasbi Allahu, alayhi tawakkaltu wa huwa rabbul arshil adhim. Because that statement alone, trusting Allah, relying on Him, surrendering to Him, it's enough to remove mountains of pain, to calm oceans of fear, to replace years of worry with moments of peace. And if you've made it this far in the reminder, then you are someone whose heart is still beating for Allah, someone whose soul still wants nearness, and someone whose life can still become beautiful again, not because of anything you did, but because of how much Allah loves those who turn back to Him in sincerity. And maybe you've made mistakes, maybe your past is heavy, maybe your heart feels dirty, but don't let that stop you from crying to Him, because He is Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim, Al-Ghafur, the most merciful, the most forgiving, the one who erases sins like they never existed. And you might think you're not worthy of a fresh start, but Allah says otherwise. He says that if you come to Him with a mountain of sins, He'll come to you with a mountain of forgiveness. And if you walk to Him, He will run to you. So run back now, even if you're limping, even if you're crawling, even if your heart is tired. Just come back to the one who has been waiting. And when you do, when you raise your hands and say, Ya Allah, I'm here, you will feel a kind of peace that no one can describe. Because Allah is not distant, He's near. Not harsh, but gentle. Not punishing, but patient. And He has never turned away a sincere heart. And yours is no exception. So keep crying if you need to, but cry to the one who listens. And keep hoping, but place your hope in the one who never disappoints. And keep walking forward, even if slowly, because Allah is guiding you even when you can't feel it. And He is writing a story for you that ends in Jannah, that ends in peace, that ends in joy, that makes every tear worth it. And when that day comes, when you stand before Him and see the reward for every tear, every heartbreak, every lonely night, you will say, Ya Allah, it was all worth it. Thank you for not leaving me. Thank you for holding my hand even when I let go. And in that moment, you'll realize that the pain that once felt unbearable became the bridge between you and your Lord. And you'll finally see what Allah was doing all along, loving you, guiding you, bringing you back home